All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to bring you a very important update on PancakeSwap. There's been a lot of hype and a lot of interest behind this project recently. So in this video, I'm gonna run through some tactical analysis, talk about what I see happening with this thing, both short-term and long-term, mention some very key critical things that you need to be aware of in order to try and figure out what the next big move for this thing is. So folks, if you like the sound of that, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, like, subscribe, comment, and share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. So there's a lot to talk about with this thing. So for those who don't know, Binance Smart Chain has been really taking off as of late because it has cheaper fees. There's a lot of problems with Ethereum and Uniswap right now. High gas fees, long time for transactions. So with Binance Smart Chain popping on the scene, making things a lot cheaper to make transactions, and PancakeSwap being kind of the exchange for Binance Smart Chain, it's been really gaining a lot of popularity, and who knows, in the future could continue to do well. So I see a few very interesting things happening in the technicals that we need to be aware of. So we were forming this very macro descending triangle, and we broke out bullishly, but we seem to be getting rejected off a key level of about $13 to $13.50 has been critical resistance. So will this be a bull trap? We will answer some of those questions in this video. I think a critical support level to look out for to try and understand whether we're going to see a move to the upside, a retest resistance, or if we break down further, is the 100 EMA on the 4 hour. We can see here in these regions here, very price reactive. We broke out bullishly from the macro descending triangle, fell back down. That's exactly where we found support, and we're testing it right now. It's currently at the 100 EMA in the 4 hours, currently at about $11.40 to about $11.20. Around that region is where it's at. So if we start to break down from this region, I think it's far more likely that we start retesting some of these lower levels. So we can see that around here, around $10.40, very price reactive level. We wicked off here, and these regions here. So price reactive level, I think kind of 1040 is a temporary floor of support if this region cannot hold. Aside from that, I think another important support region is $9.70. We wicked off this region here, and here. So another price reactive zone to be aware of. Now another, what I think will be a very critical area of support moving forward, which is the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. We can see here, last time we had this massive run up in the dump. Where did the dump end? It ended on the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. So moving forward, this is probably going to be a very relevant support level to look out for, which is currently just above $9. I'd say from $9 to $9.40, maybe $9.50, depending on when you're watching this video. Wherever the 200 EMA happens to be, that is going to be a very critical support level to look out for. Now, if we start to break below this key level here, I would be concerned about PancakeSwap no longer being short-term bullish. Now, look, I think the market as a whole is very long-term bullish, and over the long term, the good projects will have a good chance of succeeding. I'm not personally in PancakeSwap, but I see the argument, I see the appeal. So it could do well over the long term, even if we correct further and break below these critical support levels. But again, if we start to break below this, and if we make a lower low, I'd be concerned of an extended consolidation and correction period. But just because we have a short-term, extended consolidation period that could last, days, maybe weeks, that doesn't mean that 6 months down the road, it won't recover. I mean, I don't know, right? So look, folks, if this key area doesn't hold, I think at that point there, I mean, $8 is obviously going to be strong support. But if this key area here doesn't hold, then maybe I definitely think we'd retest $8. And if that doesn't hold, key level look out for $7.60 to $7. Really, that $7 region, that's the VP VAR point of control. Lots of volume being traded in these regions, lots of sideways price action. So $7 is, I think, the level that we fall to if kind of the 200 EMA on the 4 hour and the $8 region cannot hold. Aside from that, I think around $5 will act as critical support. Last time we pumped dump, found support right around $5, and if we zoom out to when PancakeSwap first released, we could see we got wicked off these regions at around $5.30, around $5.40. So just kind of like the low $5, I think will act as some floor of support if this region doesn't hold. And that's a big if. I'm not saying we're going to fall down this low, but I'm saying if we did, I think these regions would act as support. And again, I think I just mentioned $6 in these wicks here at around 570, but I don't think that's the strongest support. I think these two levels are probably going to act as strongest support. In my opinion, that's just my inkling. And then aside from that, I think key support level is, I'd say 350 to about 280, specifically 280 to about $3. Lots of volume building up in these regions. We got wicked off these regions previously, so I think that will act as some kind of support if we do correct that far down. Now, again, no guarantee that we do fall back down those levels, but I do think those are some of the most critical support levels to be aware of. Now, to see bullish continuation, because we did break out bullishly out of this descending triangle, the question is this a bull trap? Is this a fake out, right? Well, in order for this to not be a fake out, not to be a bull trap, we eventually need to get above 1370 and hold 1370, but more specifically $14. If and when we can get above and hold $14, I think it's much more likely that would solidify this bullish breakout and that we would see bullish continuation. Now, if we take the height of this descending triangle and move to the breakout point, again, if we can get above and hold these key resistance level, I do think that makes it a lot more likely we see bullish continuation. And if that is the case, I think we have a very good chance of testing all-time highs and possibly reaching $22 to $23. If we take the height of this thing, move it to the breakout point, that's where we could go. So again, key level to look out for. If we can get above and hold that level, I think that next major impulse takes us to about $5.70 to about $5, I'd say 56, 57. There's a spike in volume in these regions, and if we zoom in, we can see how it was pretty price reactive previously. So I think that's kind of where the next impulse takes us if we can hold these levels here. And again, then I think we test all-time highs. So let's take a look at our indicators here to try and get a sense of what's going on. So let's take a look at the 6 hour. Wow, this is a pretty new coin, not a lot of previous history. So this looks bearish. Everything's on the way down. Yeah, stochastic on the way down, weighted MACD on the way down, regular MACD on the way down. So look at the 4 hour bearish crossover on the MACD, weighted MACD on the way down. So MACD really good for understanding shifts in momentum. Weighted MACD acts as a leading indicator on the regular MACD. Stochastic RSI is great for understanding shifts in trends, but not the extent of the shift in the trend. And the RSI is great for understanding the strength of buying and selling pressure. So interesting, we're getting lower highs, lower lows. Things look bearish. Let's see if we can see any signs of strength. Let's look at the 1 hour. So 1 hour, we're starting to see some strength, folks. MACD starting to tick up. Weighted MACD might have a bullish crossover. Let's zoom in. Looks like it wants to have a bullish crossover, the weighted MACD on the 1 hour. We'll see if we get that. Stochastic RSI, bullish crossover in the oversold region. Regular RSI in the oversold region. Very interesting. So 1 hour, starting to see some strength. Let's move over to the half hour, just a continuation. Now I want to move to the 5 because I want to see if this is carrying over. See, yeah, so in the shorter time frames, we're probably gonna have a bit of a leg down, but the 5 is super micro. So let's actually go back to the half hour here, because I want to point out something on the RSI, which is, I think if we can get above this key level, this is probably when we see bullish continuation in price action here, if and when we can get above this. So I think we could probably draw a valid, something like that, a resistance sign here in the RSI, and whenever it just so happens to be that we can get above and hold above these levels on the RSI, I think that is when we see bullish continuation in price action. If we get this, right? It's just a factor. It's not the end all be all, but I could picture perhaps, something like this playing out where we test this, get rejected, test this, get rejected, and eventually whenever it is that we can test this and break out, I think that's when we see bullish continuation on the price action. So, something like that is possible. Again, not the end all be all, but I think one interesting thing to look at to try and gauge when we do see, if and when that we do see that bullish continuation. So yeah, just to kind of summarize here a bit, folks, larger time frames look bearish, shorter time frames, some signs of some strength. Ultimately, in order to understand what direction we're going to pick here in the short term, I do think that 100 EMA on the 4 hour is kind of that critical inflection point. Whatever way we break out, either above or below, if we stay above this thing or we break down below this thing, I think that direction is where we will trend for quite some time. This is kind of the critical level to look out for to try and decide what direction we're going to pick here in the short term. Now, just to kind of give my general inklings with Binance Smart Chain and PancakeSwap. Look, I think I think competition is great. I think multiple players doing similar things can succeed. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I am not a blockchain maximalist. I think tons of great projects can exist and succeed side by side with each other. With that being said, I am not invested in PancakeSwap for the long term. Maybe this could be a very interesting trade if we break above resistance or even a long-term hodl. I'm sure there are people that will long-term hodl and they could probably do well off this. But ultimately, I'm very bullish on the Ethereum ecosystem. I do think it is just a matter of time before Ethereum 2.0 solves a lot of its problems, and if and when it does, I think Ethereum 2.0 is going to blow its competitors out of the water if Ethereum 2.0 is successful. we're already getting rollouts of Ethereum 2.0 in different phases with the Berlin hard fork and optimistic rollouts happening this month and next month. And again, who knows how successful they'll be and how long it'll take for those implementations to actually roll out. But bottom line is, I'm not gonna FOMO into a project that's had this kind of insane run up. Again, look, I'm sure it might be successful. People could make money in this thing. But another thing I see all the time to be concerned of, which is if we don't start making higher highs at some point here, I'm seeing this pattern a lot where we're getting a lot of coins that have had this massive run up, and now we're entering some correction cycle, which is with some projects, there's a chance that, especially if we don't start making higher highs at some point here with a lot of these coins, we could enter like an August 2.0 scenario with the altcoins, where we had this massive run up and we might have an extended consolidation and correction phase that could last weeks, 1 month or 2 months. Back in August, we had a massive rally with the entire market with DeFi. Back in August, everything crashed in September and consolidated and corrected for basically about a month or two. But then afterwards, everything blew up because, look, I do believe in the fundamental long-term bullishness of this market, but we may correct in further in the short term with certain coins. It's an open question, not a guarantee. Ultimately, we need to keep our eye out for Bitcoin and Ethereum. They lead the market. If Bitcoin and Ethereum decide to tank, that is definitely going to have an effect on the altcoins. If Bitcoin and Ethereum start to just rally out of nowhere and go and explode crazy high, that is going to place the dampers on the altcoins. So a lot of things to be aware. But another interesting thing as well, before I leave you guys, is the Cake Bitcoin pair. I find that the pairings with Bitcoin are often very helpful to try to understand hidden bullish and bearish divergence, and they sometimes act as a leading indicator on the US dollar value of whatever coin you're looking at. So we're currently right up against resistance on this descending triangle on the Cake Bitcoin pair. We may indeed go for that leg down. If we go for that leg down, I think we'd probably find at least temporary support at these regions here. And again, if we see that leg down to those regions, that is definitely going to have an effect on the US dollar value. And if we continue to see rejection off these regions and go for that for a leg down, that could cement this being a bull trap and break down below this EMA, and then we'd likely test these support regions that I've mentioned. So folks, I hope I've shared some of my wisdom with this thing. Again, over long term, maybe it'll do well. I'm not this is not the ecosystem in which I'm personally looking to accumulate into. But again, I'm not a hater. I'm open-minded. I'm sure it can do well in the future. But these are my honest thoughts. So if anything interesting further happens, we'll definitely be talking about it on this channel, folks. Like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon notified of new uploads. Join our Discord, link for that down in the description. We talk to our Discord members all the time. We post helpful articles, helpful resources, setups, that kind of thing. If you like what we do and you want to support us, consider becoming a Patreon member. Join our Patreon, link down in the description. You get access to our VIP Discord group where we talk first about our low cap gems, interesting setups, and very helpful resources. We talk to all our Discord members regularly, so folks, join our Discord. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.